play. And obviously he wasn't thinking, I'm going to rupture my Achilles. You know, he was thinking I could injure myself even more, but that's the risk that I'm willing to take. So I'm glad that he came out. I'm glad he said something, to put all this to rest. So there is no blame, but it is what I thought it was anyway. I mean, he is a dude that just balls, and he saw his teammates out there playing, and it's just like, I want to play so bad, and he took the risk. It didn't work out. He's fine with it. He probably would do it all over again, and if he had to, and not have any regrets. So we can move on, from this. Is that no, the Warriors didn't have, anything to do with it. No, the Warriors didn't pressure him into doing it. And KD, he just likes to play ball. That's it. He likes to play ball. What we like to do, we like to talk sports, and we're going to continue to talk sports. We covered our little basketball, but we're going to get back into football as well, because we got to talk about the divisions that's out there. We're going to continue our NFL division talk. So we're going to cover the NFC West just in a moment. But before we do that, we're going to take another quick little break, and then we'll come back, talk NFC West. We'll talk the Pro Bowl, and I'm sure I'm missing some. Browns talk. I got to talk about the Browns. I've been talking about them for the past 2 years. So we're going to continue that and more. You listen to the Wait a Minute show. Again, we'll be back after these words.
We don't take orders from super fools. We give them.
Let's go give it to you.
Any and all resistance will crumble. Nonsense. There's never been a threat
Squad
couldn't handle. It is the purpose of the
Squad
to align our infamous forces against the powers of good and defeat them, leaving us, the rulers of the world.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be... We all hate when we have unexpected car problems. Well, I'm here to tell you about a viable solution. Bay 11 Auto and my man Melvin. You have emission problems? Brakes need changing? Transmission slipping? Is your car just driving sluggish? No problem is too big. I live on the other side of town, and I drive over an hour to a guy that I trust. Melvin is honest, dependable, and definitely not in the business to break your pockets. Come see the official mechanic, Melvin, at Bay 11 Auto. You will be glad you did. You can reach him at 1455 General Arts Road, Conyers, Georgia, or 404-295-5715. That's 404-295-5715.
All music artists, lend me your ear. Looking for that hot beat to make your next hit? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. Tired of paying for overpriced studio time for mediocre beats? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. FaroJaroMusic.com offers industry-quality hip-hop, trap, R&B, and pop beats that will take your creativity to the next level. We know it's hard to find dope beats out there, so don't waste any more time searching YouTube or whack beat-selling websites. Go to FaroJaroMusic.com today to cop the beat for your next hit. Mixing and mastering services available too. Once again, go to FaroJaroMusic.com. That's FaroJaRO Music.com for the hottest beats in the game.
Yo, what's good? This is Trey Frazier on Phil Styles. This is the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure y'all tune in to us every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
Squad Network, the future of radio.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it.
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Indeed, Lopan, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you listen to the Wait a Minute show. And I told you, I hit it at the beginning, but I got to hit it in the middle, and then I hit it at the end as well. Happy birthday to one Mocabella, one of the faithful listeners of the Wait a Minute show. She is out there in those streets, and I'm going to give her a pass. You know, normally she's in the chat room and she's chatting it up, but it's her birthday. So, but she hit me on text and said, hey, I'll listen to your show later. So, shouts out to Mocabella. Have a great birthday, however old you are, because I'm not going to get in trouble. Lopan, maybe you could ask how old Mocabella is.
Indeed.
All right. So if I don't see you Saturday, I'll know what happened. So let's move on and let's get back into football real quick. The Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl has been announced that it's going to stay in Orlando once again, and this will be the fourth year that it has been played in Orlando. So looks like they are getting a good, I guess, return, if you will, to a certain degree. I'm going to say, but to me, it had to. I mean, you can move it around if you want, but it has to stay stateside. You cannot go back to Hawaii at this point. I don't. It's great if I ever want to go, if it's in Orlando, because that's not too far from the ATL, so we could go down there. But if they want to move it around to other cities as well, that wouldn't bother me. I think that would be cool. You guys still be smart as far as like where it's going to play, because there's still going to be a lot of cold weather cities that you don't want to have the Pro Bowl played in. But more than anything, you can't be charging people these ridiculous prices to fly over there, get a hotel, and spend all this stuff on jerseys and whatnot and events. And then the product goes out on the field like we've seen in the Pro Bowl recently, where guys, they're not trying to get hurt, which, I get it. So having it stateside helps out. You get more people that are able to come, so you have a more opportunity of income and revenue to show up in the city, and it's not going to be as expensive. So I am glad that they're keeping it there, because, for people that do want to go, Hawaii was just ridiculous to pay for. So, but ladies and gentlemen, let's get into divisional talk. So we've covered basically the AFC East, the NFC East, the AFC South. We talked about the NFC South last week, and then we're going to touch on, and actually we covered the AFC West as well. So we're going to touch on the NFC West and talk about the four teams that are in that division, and that would be the Arizona Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks, the LA Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers. So let's touch base on their records for real quick. So we already know Arizona had the number one overall pick, so it wasn't pretty good if you were picking first. And the 49ers followed right behind them. So the Cardinals finished 3-13, 49ers finished 4-12, and that was followed by the Seahawks at 10-6, and of course the Rams 13-3. That was that are your reigning NFC championship team. So I'll start with the 49ers at this point. They are in a bit of who are we right now. They have a lot of nice pieces to their team, but those pieces is who are we? What are we? And what can we be? You still got question marks at the quarterback spot. Jimmy Garoppolo came over there. He had 5 really good games, and then going into the season, he tore up his knee and tore his ACL, actually. And then they went through the QB carousel with guys like Nick Mullins and Beathard and C.J. Beathard and others over there. So are you going to get the Jimmy Garoppolo that you thought you were getting when you traded? You already paid him and said he's your guy, so he's not going anywhere at all. And this is the season. It's put and Jimmy Garoppolo knows this. It's put up or shut up, and barring any type of injury, he's going to have to show some type of sign that the reason that they gave him the money is this reason, that reason A, reason B. The other thing that's interesting is going to be their running back situation, because Jared McKinnon is also coming off an injury himself, but they recently signed former Atlanta Falcon running back Tevin Coleman, and now who's going to be your lead back on that, or is that going to be more of a committee? And now that Coleman is there is not as much room. You got guys like Breida that's on that roster as well, and among other running backs that are trying to stay on the team. But Tevin is there. Obviously, they pay him free agent money, so he's not going anywhere, at least this year. So how is your running back situation going to, look? Defense, I think they're, all right. I'm not going to say that they are just top notch, but Nick Bosa just recently hurt his ankle, so he's going to get an MRI tomorrow to see what's going on with that ankle. And that's the last thing that you want, is your number 2 overall pick to be missing games to start off the season. Not a good thing. But you got guys like Richard Sherman that's going to be coming back, and quality veterans. Obviously, Richard Sherman is not the guy he was in Seattle, and that just happens. That's why, and I think that's one of the reasons why Seattle let him walk. But you got guys like Richard Sherman, you got linebackers like Fred Warner stepping in for guys that they had before, trying to have people forget about, and you're not going to be able to just totally forget. But Navarro Bowman, a lot of youngsters, Quan Alexander from Tampa Bay that they got. So it's question. And we haven't even gotten to even the wide receivers, on this. Dante Pettis that's on this team, you're going to think that him and Dante Pettis and Marquise Goodwin. Thank you, Brain, for updating. And Kittles. How is this going to be year 2 for Kittles? Kittles had an awesome year. Everyone knows he had an awesome year, but it was kind of like Evan Ingram when he was in New York, where a lot of receivers went down and they kind of had to force feed him the ball because he was their best receiver. And I think the same thing goes for Kittles, is that is he going to be able to have the same season or the same impact that he had if you got 2 healthy wide receivers there? I think he will be good. I think he will be able to help out the team. So I'm not saying that he's just going to regress so far that he's irrelevant. I just think under the circumstances, we get enamored with the numbers that he did, and he can still be effective and not have the same numbers that he did, because as you see, they finished 4-12. So those numbers didn't help out too well. Other team that's on there, and I spoke with them about them first, was the Arizona Cardinals. And Arizona line, defensive line, running back, replacement of wide receivers, new coach, and was it worth it? Those are just a few things that's going on with the Arizona Cardinals. But they have they better have it. But they have their guy who they feel is their guy. Josh Rosen was not the guy. They told him he was the guy the year before, and they moved him out to bring in Kyler Murray. So a lot of people have been saying he's looking pretty good in camp, but I want to see it again on the field. I've seen what he's done in college, and he's very impressive, but I want to see what he does on the field. You're wearing a jersey that says, "Don't touch me." What happens when guys that can touch you start getting close? So I do think Kyler Murray will be all right. I just don't think he will be the quarterback that a lot of people think he's going to or would be like he was in college. There's a process to it, and I think he's going to go through a few growing pains, but he'll get better from it. Running back David Johnson. David Johnson, not too long ago, 2-3 years ago, he was like a man amongst boys. Receiving, playing like 9 different positions, 15 million positions. He was doing it on the ground, running the ball. He was catching out of the backfield. And we haven't seen that. Now, he did deal with an injury